Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to do today, a little bit more of a video for the ladies to give you some data to understand what you need to do to get the scores, and we're looking to break 90. So we're looking for that sort of bogey golf, maybe a little bit better than that. And we've given a lot of information for the men, but the key thing to understand is for ladies, a lot of your holes play a little bit shorter, so it's understanding what you actually need to achieve. So we're going to play 3 holes. We're going to play quite a long par 4 here, so around about 360 yards. Then we're going to play a par 3 of about 130 yards. And Spitfire going over our head as we're going through this. So we'll let him go through. Okay. A little barrel roll there. Okay, so let's say that again. So we've got a 360 par 4, quite a tough par 4, 140 yard par 3, and then we're going to play, it's again about 380 par 5. But because it plays uphill, it's going to play a little bit longer. But the idea behind this video is to give you data about what you need to achieve. A lot of my videos are saying to you, not about how you swing the club, it's what you need to physically achieve to get the results you want. So ideally, what we want to be is a situation, this is a hole where you're probably going to bogey it about 80% of the time, but you are going to double bogey it 20%. So this is a tough par 4. What we'll see when we play the other holes, they may become a little bit easier relative to the par. So this is a hole, if you bogey it, you're doing brilliantly. So ideally what we're looking to do, after 3 shots, can I be on the green and be somewhere around about 40 feet from the hole, 30 to 40 feet from the hole. But what do I need to achieve off the tee? First shot, what we're looking for is a tee shot for around about 160, 165 yards. If you can do that down the middle of your fairway, you're doing everything you want. Now, I'm going to play the hole, okay? So I'm going to look to play that shot. Looking for a shot of around about 160 yards. That will leave me approximately 200 yards to go. That would be lovely. If you can hit it further, it's a bonus. If you're not quite there, you're within 20 yards either side, you're doing fine. That's the key thing that we're looking for. So looking down the hole, you can see hopefully straight down there, lovely striped fairway here at Corinthians. And we're just looking to put it down there, 160 yards. Nice little soft shot. Get the ball forward, through, that's away. What we're looking for when I get down there, have I left myself around about the 200 yard mark? That would be perfect. That will give us a pretty good chance that then we can get it within about 40 yards of the green and then get it to that 30 feet or so away from the hole. So we're sort of planning our way down the hole. But we'll give you that data as we go along. So let's go down and see what we've left ourselves. So here's where we ended up. I've gone that roughly that 160, 170 yards down the hole, and you can see it is a tough hole, bit of a dog leg now going round. The flag is behind those trees. But as we said, I don't need to be hitting the green here in 2 shots because 1, I need to make a bogey to play to that 90 score, and 2, it's a long hole anyway. So if I can get this ball within sort of 40 to 60 yards, I'm doing absolutely fine. I think that's really important to understand. So what I'm going to look at here, the next tee that we're going to play off the short par 3, out to the left, I'm going to play out towards that tee box, and I'm looking to advance this at maybe 140 yards. If you have got the skills to go over the trees, by all means have a go. But if you haven't, just keep the ball moving down that fairway. 140 yards, that means that I've got rid of over 300 yards in 2 shots. That'll leave me probably 60, 70 yards from the green, give me a chance to chip it on. So we're just popping it down the fairway. Nothing amazing. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be, and I'll be about 60 yards away. But it was the difficulty of the hole with the fact we have all the trees in the way that meant I couldn't really go closer to the green. 60 yards away, that loses me about 0.1 of a shot, but that's okay. All right, because it still suggests 70% of the time I'm still going to make that bogey. So I'm still on line to make the score that I should be making on this hole. Let's go and see where we ended up and have a chip onto the green. So the ball ran on a little bit, just gone into the light rough, but we've still got a shot. We can see the shot here, and we've got around about 55 yards. So when we started the hole, it was a 5.2 hole. We're now at about 3.3. We've lost about 0.1 of a shot. So just to explain that, it's 3.3 on average from here. So on average, I'll get down 70% of the time in 3 and 30% of the time down in 4. Because I've played 2 shots, that means now my average is going to be around about 5.3. I've added that to the 3.3. So we're just 1.1 behind. Okay, but we're okay because it's still favouring the bogey, and that's what we're happy with. That will keep us going nicely to shoot around that 90. So technique, what we're going to do here, I've just got 50, 60 yards again, what you feel comfortable with. Most of you, that'll probably be a wedge or a 9-iron little shot. And just looking at the ground, looks like it's going to move a little bit right to left. There's a lot of trouble over the left, so there's a bit more green over to the right. That would make sense to go out there. So the feeling from there, what I'm looking to do, and I'm playing this shot, not looking for full power, just want to feel through the club that I've chosen a nice smooth swing, get the feeling of striking down on the ball to make the ball jump up, give you control. But remember what we said, if we can get this around about 30 feet, okay, we're now back on track for our 5.2. We're doing okay. We're still looking good to make our 5 on this hole. So we've played it out to the right. That's the sensible play. Guarantees I'm pretty much going to be on the green. And I'd say probably around that 25 to 30 foot mark. Really happy with that. So we're still on par for what we've got to do. Let's go and have a look at the putt. See if we can 2-putt it, get that 5, and then get on to the par 3. So we're on the green in 3, and I think I said make our par 5, but this is a par 4, so this will be a bogey 5. Still got that chance of a 4. Let's take the flag out so you can see what we got. We were looking for around about 30 feet. Let's see what we've actually given ourselves, because it looks a little bit closer than that. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 paces, so we're around about 20 feet. So that pitch shot has gained me a little bit. So from this distance, if you are a bogey golfer, and this is no different for men or women, we should be 2-putting this pretty much every time. So you can see how the pitch shot has gained us a little bit. So now on average, if I 2-putt this, I'm going to get a 5. Remember, on average, I'm going to bogey this 80% time, double bogey it 20%. So I'm slightly ahead of the game. So that's really good. So let's see if we can do it. So green reading. Important when we're doing this, that we get ourselves into a mindset of reading the putt. My green reading method, please go and watch the video, goes through reading the putt from the hole back to the ball. Look for the water. What I mean by that is if you filled the hole up with water, where would it overflow? Now this green happens to be probably the flattest green on the course. So there's nothing really much to read into this. But make sure you're happy. Go through your routine. You feel, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Happy with that. Goal is to hole it, obviously, if we can. But if we don't, 2-putt it, we're very happy with that result. So the weight's good, just a little bit to the right. Put it up to within a foot. So by being sensible off the tee, hitting it around about that 165, then we moved it forward about 150 yards. We chipped it on nicely, got our 2 putts. There's our 5. Remember, 18 bogeys, you're going to shoot 90. You're going to have a good day. Let's go and play the par 3. We'll go through the data of what we should be shooting on that hole on average. So here's our second hole. It's a par 3. It's 140 yards. And what's the data telling us? So this is a 3.9 hole. So it basically means you are going to par it 10% of the time. You're going to bogey it 90%. And because you are sort of that player shooting around 90, that sort of bogey golf, majority of your numbers are going to be 0.1 or 0.2 either side of the par of the hole. So the previous hole was a 0.2 harder than the bogey. This is a little bit easier than the bogey. But what would be a par shot? 140 yards. If we get this within 20 yards of the green, you're doing great. If after 2 shots you're within 15 feet of the hole, you are on average going to hole that 1 in 10 times. You are going to 2-putt it 90% of the time. So that sort of gives you a little bit of a breakdown of the hole, what we're doing. Always looking to play the best possible shot. We're never going to sort of look at it and deliberately not hit a good shot. But the flag here today is cut really tight. It's probably a little bit hard to see on the camera there, but really tight on the left side of the green. So in this situation, we said 20 yards from the green is good. Okay, and then we can chip it to 15 feet, or if we're close enough, we might be able to putt it in the summer conditions. Anything there. So sensible play here would be middle of the green. Just playing straight into the middle of the green and get it around about that 120 to 140 distance. That would be nice. There and through. Anywhere on the green would be great. Okay, we're running down towards the front. And I think we've ended up just off the edge of the green. So pretty much what would be a par shot. That's what we're looking to do. So the whole idea of this video for you is just to get an idea of what you need to do. And what we find is it gets your expectation in the right place. That's the biggest thing with my lessons. If you can start to do that, you'll see a massive improvement in your game. But let's go down, see where that ended up. See if we can get the chip closer than the 15 feet. Maybe we can get a par on this hole and get a little bit ahead of the game. So here's where we've ended up. Really good, gives us a good opportunity. Remember, 4's still a good score. It's a par 3. We're looking to shoot around that 90 figure. There's not a lot in the way here. So the big thing I would say here, unless you have to hit it high, don't. But if you are very good at hitting the high shot, I'm never going to stop you doing it. So I have this conversation with a lot of golfers and they say, oh, I should hit this low. I've got players who are way, way better hitting a high shot, even quite high handicappers, than hitting the low shot. If that works for you, please do it. Don't feel you have to do it. But I would always think on this shot, the safer shot, I'm going to take something like an 8-iron here and just run it down the hill. 15 feet, so approximately 2 flagstick lengths from the hole will be about where I want to be. But I'm pretty much on par. I'm about that 20 yards off the green. And again, all I'm doing, keeping it really simple, narrow stance, ball a little bit back in my stance, and I'm just looking to pop the ball forward. So it feels a little bit like a putting stroke. And why this shot's a little bit safer is that if you have got that smaller stroke and you slightly mishit it, i.e. catch the ball a little bit clean, because you're not expecting it to go high up in the air and a long way, it's doing a similar flight to what you would expect. We're only looking this maybe get shin height. We're not looking for it to go way up in the air. Okay, always looking to play the best possible shot. 15 feet is still okay. We're doing all right. Okay, that's rolling down a little bit short of the hole. But around that number, probably around about 10, 12 feet away, really gives us a good chance. We're just doing exactly what we need to do. So hopefully, again, we're keeping that expectation in the right place. Let's go and see if we can hold that 12-footer to make a par, gain a full shot on this hole. So a decent chip down onto the green. We're around about that 12 feet, but let's pace it out. Mark the ball, clean the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bit. So we're looking, yeah, around about 12 feet, 10, 12 feet. And this is now probably about a 20% chance I'm going to hole it. And this is really important to understand. People think when they're missing putts of this length, they should be holing a lot more putts. The average 50-50 putt, even for a player shooting 80, is about 5 feet. For a tour player is 8 feet. So we're talking 12 feet here. So even for me as a scratch golfer, I'm probably only going to hole this maybe a quarter of the time. So realize, yeah, you're not going to hole as many as you think. So the goal still, I want to hole it, but if I don't hole it, 2 putts is good, and that keeps us going. We've made a bogey 5 on the first hole. Can we get out of here with a par? Maybe our bogey. All right, so let's read the putt. Feels as I walk up a little bit uphill. The low point just feels a little bit down here. So it's only a small, I'd probably say it's a right lip putt. That's what I'm looking to do. Always looking to hole it. But 2 putts is fine. Right edge, let's see what we get. Oh, I think I started that probably dead straight. So I read it pretty well, started it dead straight, and it just took that 2 inches of break. But we got our 4. So remember what we said we should be doing from that position. We've played the shot down, 20 yards short of the green. We got it to around about 15 feet, well, we were 12 feet away. 2 putted it, got our 4, so we've gone bogey, bogey, brilliant. Let's go play the par 5 up the hill and see if we can maybe make a par on that hole, maybe gain a little bit. But bogey's still probably going to be okay, but we'll show you the data on the tee. So we've come to our 3rd hole, which is actually the 9th hole here at Corinthians, and it's a 370-yard par 5. Now, this hole plays considerably uphill, so we're actually going to mentally play this more as a 400-yard hole, and the data we're looking at from there, this becomes around about a 5.4 hole. So on average, I'm going to par it 60% of the time, bogey it about 40% of the time. Now, also, the other mental thing we're going to talk about here is because it's uphill, we talked about hitting a drive around about that 165, 170 off the tee. The likelihood is because of it going uphill, if we hit that length of shot, if it's on a flat lie, going up this hill, we might lose about 10%. So a situation now, we might only get about 150 yards. But we've taken that into consideration with the score that we're expecting to get as we're playing this hole. So I think that's the important thing to understand. So we're just going to go through that routine again. Stick to that idea. Find the club that you think you can knock it down there. Approximately, as we said, 170 mentally, that's what you're thinking. But realise hitting up this fairway, you may only end up around about 150 yards. And if we do that, we're putting ourselves into position. And just see that shot nicely down the middle of the fairway. Yeah, that should be good. And the most important thing I've done there is I've got it on the fairway. That gives me a chance, but also I'm a little bit fractionally down the left side on this hole, which actually opens up the next shot, which you'll see when I play my second shot. So really important, get that ball in play, give yourself a chance. That's what we've done there. Let's go and see what we've given ourselves for the second shot. So we did the job we want to do. We've got the ball nicely up the fairway. We've got around about 225 left to go. Remember, the real distance was 370, so we've moved that about 145 yards up the hole. That's okay. It would have felt a better shot than that, but remember how steep the slope was we were going up. Okay, if I can do that again, I mean, it's not quite as steep now. If I can advance it another 145 yards, I'm going to be in that area we said, around that 100-yard mark. So that would be brilliant if we can do that. So hole moves a little left to right. So again, I tend to use these stripes, pick a stripe. I think that's where I'm going. Anything up around that tree after 2 shots gives me a great chance to get it on for 3. Remember, it is a par 5. So we've got it moving up the fairway nicely. Kept that a little bit lower. A little bit windy today, so that's run a little bit further. We might only be about 70 yards away. But that's good, because sometimes you're going to play a better shot than normal, and it might gain you a little bit. The goal is, as we get there, I'd love to make a 5 on this hole. As I said, on average, I'm probably going to make more pars than bogeys. See, after 2 shots, if we've given ourselves that chance. So 2 really nice shots. We're now 65 yards away from the green. That's dropped us from the starting point of around about 5.4. We're now down to around about 3.2, 3.3. So we're a little bit ahead of the game, which is really, really good. So those first 2 shots, slightly better than average after them. So that's really, really good. What would be a par shot from here? Well, again, that number we had on the first hole, anything around 30 feet would be good, because we're going to 2-putt that more often than not. And remember, that means we're going to par this hole. If we can par any holes, that's definitely going to increase that chance you're going to break that 90, which is what we're after. Flag is cut just onto the green. This is a bit what I call a little bit of a sucker flag. Our greenkeeper's only probably put this about 4 or 5 paces on, and there's a big bank running up onto it. So you've got to play a shot in your mind that makes sure you're on the green. That's the important thing. So I'm just going to take an 8-iron here, and I'm going to play it to land about 2/3 of the way up the hole. I know the ground's quite firm, and run it up that bank onto the green. And I'm going to be quite positive with it. If I go 20, 30 feet past, I'm okay with that. The shot I don't want to do is be clever, land it on the bank and it rolls back down to my feet, or rolls back down to the bank, because then I've pretty much wasted about 3/4 of a shot. So it's just getting in perspective the expectations that we need you to do. So 30 feet's a good result from this, okay? All right, this is one of those shots where I say, look, yeah, we want to get it as close as possible, but actually the 30 feet will be really good. It's much too tough a pin position. So I'm just going to play a longer version of what I did on the last hole with an 8-iron, land it just short of the green, let it run up. Yeah, we're nicely on the green, so that's the most important thing. Can't see the ball because it's slightly raised, but we'll go up, but it looked a pretty nice shot, so hopefully we're inside that 20 feet. 2-putt that, we've got our par, we've done really well on these 3 holes. So we've arrived where our 3rd shot was, and we're approximately 20 feet away. We'll pace it out, go through my green reading method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can feel it coming down the hill. Feels like the low point's over here, so very slight, I mean very slight left to right break. So let's just go through the data. It was a 5.4 hole. We're now 20 feet away. On average, we should 2-putt this, and we've taken 3 shots to get here. So we've gained about 0.4 of a shot. So this is really, really good. So let's see if we can get out of it. If we can hole it, we'll gain 1.4. If we 2-putt it, we've done what we're meant to do up this hole. Remember, 60% time we should par this hole. The longer the hole, the easier it will get. So rolling down nicely. Not quite there, just ended up about 9 inches short. I was a little bit worried about the speed of the green. So we've achieved our goal on this hole. We got ourselves down in that par. So what we'll do now, we'll do a little recap of what we've gone through over the 3 holes to show you what we've achieved, and we're looking to get that level of expectation in the right place. So we finished the 3 holes, and if we look back at them, what we did and what we should have done. So first hole, long par 4, nearly the length of the last hole, which was a par 5. On average, we're going to get 5.2 shots. So it's a hole, 20% time, you'll actually double bogey it, 80% time bogey it. We bogeyed it. So pretty good. We did what we should have done. Second hole was the 140-yard par 3. It's a 3.9 hole. 90% chance of bogeying, 10% chance of par. So it's a little bit easier than the par 4 we had relative to the par. And we got our 4. So we gained 0.2 of a shot on the first hole. We lost 0.1 of a shot on the next. By the time we came to the last hole, which was the par 5, we played it a little bit longer, closer to 400 yards, because physically it was all uphill. It was a 5.4 hole. We put it on the green for 3 shots. We advanced it roughly 150 yards for the first 2 shots because of the uphill slope. Chipped it on nicely to about 20 feet, 2-putted it, got our 5. That gained us 0.4 of a shot. So I know it sounds a bit strange, all these 0.4s and 0.2s, but it's the average of what you're going to do when you're playing those holes. So if we add those scores up, we're looking at sort of a par 4, par 3, par 5, which added up, let's get my brain working, that's 12 shots. We should, on average, as we've gone through them, should have shot 2.5 over par, okay, if we played those holes all the time. So they're a little bit easier on average than, say, a normal situation of bogeying every hole. So we should have taken 14.5 shots. We took 14, so we're actually half a shot ahead of the game. The whole idea of my videos, these 12 shots of golf, are to get your level of expectation in the right place. Take the pressure off you. If you do that, it's amazing how you improve. And the idea is to show you ladies what you need to achieve. By all means, go and look at the other ones I've done, but they have been more off the men's tees. And if you have enjoyed it, let me know, because then I will do other videos to explain, what a lady might need to do to break 80 or 100. So we can get the ideas of what you need to achieve. But please send me comments. If you do, I'm happy to do videos for what you want me to go through. But I hope you've enjoyed it, me playing 3 holes there and showing ladies what we need to achieve. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you soon.